Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you and get started. Welcome to the Ethics of Information Organization Conference. For those that don't know me, my name is Michael Zimmer. I'm an assistant professor at the School of Information Studies here at IOEM, and conference coordinator or something like that. So welcome. I'm very happy that we all can be here today. And as conference coordinator, I'm really happy that we can be here today, and I'm going to be really happy tomorrow and someday when I can start thinking about something else. No offense, but that's the way these things are. I have a few announcements and a few things I just want to run through sort of from logistics before I introduce our dean and continue with some of the welcoming comments this morning. I guess first I do want to just thank all of our sponsors that helped make today possible. The School of Information Studies at UWM, the Center for Information Policy Research, which is a center within the school where we focus on issues of information ethics, information policy, information law. The Information Organization Research Group, which is a new group of scholars at UWM collaborating on this very topic of information organization. And also Milwaukee Public Libraries. They provided this wonderful space for us to use for the next couple of days. So I'd like to thank all of them, and we'll thank them multiple times over the course of the next couple of days. This also couldn't have been possible without Hurley Lee, our program chair. Unfortunately, she could not be here. But we wish her well, and we thank her for all her efforts in bringing together these amazing speakers that we have today. I'd also like to thank Hope Olson, Steve Miller, and others that helped from the programming and coordination of this event. Rebecca Hall, Laura Meyer, other people back at the SOAS home office that made this possible. Chad Zart, Milton, Jim Schultz, they're helping with some logistics today, and especially Tony Hoffman, who can step out, who without his help the last few weeks, none of this, we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be eating, and we wouldn't have a microphone and all these other things. So thank you all for your excellent work. A few logistics. You notice we have food. We'll have food throughout the day. We'll have a break, we'll have lunch. Later this afternoon, we have a reception back at the Doubletree Hotel just down the street with some light hors d'oeuvres and some drinks and enjoyment of that kind. We'll have more details about that later. Bathrooms are just outside the room and on my right, if you need them. The library upstairs is gorgeous. The rotunda and everything, it's a wonderful building. To get there, we need to go back outside. Out the doors, we take a right back to Wisconsin Avenue, another right, and you'll see the front entrance to the library. We should have time at the end of the afternoon before the reception if people wanted to spend some time to walk around the library and take a look at what we have to offer here in Milwaukee. So please do that. Wi-Fi, if you have computers, there should be an open Wi-Fi network in here called NPL Wireless. And for those of you that will be tweeting the event, we have a hashtag IOEthics, and if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But for those of you that do, we'll be tweeting the event as well. We are taping the talks as well. We're going to be posting that on our website as a video cast in the coming weeks. If for some reason you want to make sure you're not on video or on audio, unfortunately you just sort of sit in the back and we'll make sure you're not captured. We're not going to pan the room or anything. But I'm a privacy and surveillance scholar, so I want to make sure that everyone understands that we're taping and that it's going to be on the web. So if you have concerns about that, just talk to me and we'll make sure that everyone's accommodated. And I think that is all for my comments. What I would like to do is introduce to you the Dean of the School of Information Studies, Dr. Johannes Britz. Dean Britz has been a great motivating force in making events like this happen, bringing together a very diverse faculty into the School of Information Studies, and allowing me to join that faculty. I'm very grateful for. And he'll have a few welcoming remarks to join us today, very short remarks, I believe. Short. Yeah, it could be long. And then he'll also introduce to us our provost, Dr. Rita Chang, who is also here today to give us a welcome. So please join me in welcoming Dean Britz.
Thank you very much, Michael. They say you make good hires and you make the very good hires, and then you make Michael summer hires. He's really one of our outstanding young faculty, taking the initiatives with many things. So Michael, thank you in any case for you. When Hurley had go back to Taiwan, you really stepped in and arranged this, which I think is one of the first ever ethics and IO conferences that I know of. You know, it's like the World Series. It happens in America. It's not the rest of the world, but I think in America this is the first in the world. They might have happened in other countries. So thank you for this initiative. I'm really looking forward, being an ethicist myself. I always thought about the ethical issues, and I've read some of Hope's stuff before she joined us. I quoted her on many issues on language and representation of texts. So I thought this is a good accumulation of these kinds of discussions. I also want to thank the Planning Committee, not only for doing this, but for the creativity in the way you have done this, Michael, and the others. Chad at the back, thank you for your input. You had some input?
No.
Oh. And then I would also like to introduce our Rita. I think I will in any case have to do this.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you.
We are short and taller people. I would like to introduce our Vice Chancellor and Provost, Dr. Rita Cheng. And I told her she don't have to talk about space. You don't have to talk about the budget. And you don't even have to talk about OI, Organizational Information Organization and Ethics. You can just open it for us. We really do appreciate it. Not that she has the time to come, but I think the fact that you are here shows your priority to come. And that is very much appreciated. You're always in support of what we do. We think, oh, it's high up there in Chatham Hall where all the evidence papers are. We send an email, it's always a yes. There's not one instance where you actually said no to all our events. So this is very much appreciated. Being a provost and being an associate dean, Hope, in Afrikaans we have a saying, you are between the floor and the polish. Between a hard rock and what's the English saying? Stone and a hard rock. It's the same principle. It's a thankless job in a way. You're between the floor and the polish because you get it from the top and you get it from the bottom and you have to manage everything. So taking that into consideration and having difficult times to manage what we do, Rita Cheng, I would like to introduce you and thank you again.
Thank you, Hannes. And part of the reason I say yes is events like this that remind administrators why they're in the academy. And it's the management of the space and the budget and the faculty personnel issues that keep the institution running. But it's because of these types of gatherings and the intellectual thought that happens here that makes that all worthwhile. I'd also like to particularly thank the School of Information Studies for the Information Center for Policy Research support and the research groups in the school that have made this happen. And this is the first time that I've been in this particular building, and I would also echo that it's a beautiful place. I am an accounting professor by trade, and in my profession we do things like have conferences at casinos so that we can go into the back and talk about internal controls and things like that. So you all, when Hannes talked about the library and when Michael said that you'd have enough time to go and see the library, I was reflecting on the kinds of things that accountants like to As a provost, I am always happy to connect with groups of scholars who come together to advance the conversations in their field of research. And as an accounting professor with a research interest in nonprofit standards, I'm particularly interested in conversations around professional conduct and attendant ethical implications. As the volume and complexity and accessibility of information explodes throughout the world, and as conversations around that information affect decision-making and policy, the work that you do is certainly very important and one that we would continue to want to support. We need to deepen our understanding of the moral implications and dimensions of information organization, the work that you do, not only for disciplinary reasons, but also because we're educating the next generation of scholars and information professionals. I was at an event last night where there was a discussion around media and how media fades away, and the 8-track tapes. And I'm looking out at this audience, and maybe there's just like 1 or 2 of you that know what an 8-track tape is. The rest of you are too young. But I have 8-track tapes with some great music that I don't play because I don't have an 8-track tape player. And I know that you all also think about how the media and the next generation of scholars is going to certainly connect to that. I'm confident that the conference here will deepen your understanding of a lot of different issues and the dilemmas around disparity of access to information and around cultural and geopolitical access. But I know you also won't have time to solve all the problems of the world today and tomorrow, but I think you'll have an opportunity to deepen understanding. Michael said to be short, and I will. I also would like to just acknowledge Hurley and Michael and Dick for their work, and thank Hannes for his support for these types of gatherings, and look forward to your website. I won't be able to stay for the day, but I will be able to get the link from Hannes and look at the information that you shared today. Thank you.